Oh, what it is, what it does, what it was, oh, whatever. It's Magnif, and it's about to be a good moment. This is FFW, Fantastic Flash Whack. I gotta work on my W's. Anyways, today I'm gonna break down some podcasts. Some of the great podcasts that we see on YouTube. If you were ever interested of learning how they're lighting it, we do the same thing every single place, from film to music videos to podcasts to event photography, a little different, but wedding photography, we try to do the same thing. Again, you're just going to see the same visual language all across the board. Everybody is doing the same thing and making it seem like we're not. It's very simple, it's very easy. I take that back. It's very simple to understand, not easy to initiate or execute, because you just don't know what room you're going to be in. You don't know what lights that you have, and you don't know how many people, how many crew members that you're going to have at hand to be able to make these things happen. All right, let's break down some podcasts. Let's go. First and foremost, we're going to break down my podcast, The Snippet. This is one of the scenes. So right here, again, you can see it. I'm doing the same thing. I'm on the bride's side. You see all the characteristics that I'm adding in this frame. And I'm going to tell you where I'm doing good, and I'm going to tell you where I'm doing terrible. So fantastically, all in all, good shot. But from a beginner's point of view, I'm not going to say beginner, a person that doesn't have as much knowledge with their binoculars or their eyes would say this is dark, but at the same time they can see the color. But understand what I'm doing here now. I'm trying to make it extremely moody, so all the elements and all the colors can really pop out. So when everything is bright and up, you're desaturating stuff. So here we go. So I have this plant on this corner is getting hit by this light that's up high, coming down at his face. Again, the camera's on the dark side, and we have another backlight going through the window of between that studio glass door where you see this record cover here. Now, granted, I'm a little dark underneath here, especially where his hand is. There's just no information there. I lost all the information there. So I should have put one of these MC Pros right there so I can lift that ambience, because right now it just looks like darkness. It just looks like you can fall in that hole and never find your way out. But after that, see the elements. We're going light to dark, light to dark, light to dark. All those elements are always present in type of cinematography. We're going light to dark, light to dark, light to dark. Even in this video right now, my man's messed up. Light, dark. See, it's just, that's what we're doing all the time, all the time. Even in my hat, light, dark, as an accident. But I'm still going to take credit for it. But anyways, but yeah, this fantabulous. Again, let me break it down to you. On the broadside, always put your camera on the broadside with a shadow, and then put it at an angle. So when you're shooting, there's a line. It's like a 180 line. So if the subject's here and I'm here, of course I'm going to see the shadow side. But if I come right here, like when I'm like very it's like perpendicular, like 100% aligned with the subject, then it's just going to be silhouetted. So I always try to angle the camera like to this angle, so I have a little bit of shadow and I can also see the lighter side of his face while I'm shooting. Now if you shoot on this side, it gets a little tricky, but you can still do it here. Shoot on the light side and see the shadow side, but I'll never shoot it like this on the light side, because it's just, everything just gets flat with the light and everything's just bright with the sun. But anyways, I'm going to show you other podcasts and they're doing the same thing. Let's go. Let's go to the Diary of a CEO. Same thing. Broadside. You see where he is at the line. He's not directly right next to him. He's kind of angled at like a 45 degree. And we see him shooting the dark side, and we see the light hitting his face. I think the same light's kind of hitting the background. I probably would have added a negative, like a flag, just to separate the two, because it looks like it's getting a little washed out. but he has a little bit of practicals that on the shelf over there. And you see the books. The books just create a different element, kind of creating that distance. And even the back of the shelf, you see how the contrast gets a little darker there, but you just see the separation. Now imagine if this was just a flat wall. It would just be blah blah blah. And then you see on the dark side where he has this, I forgot what they call these, the things with the sand and I think there's a glow, right? Yeah. And the globe and right behind his shoulder. Great elements, great elements. You see the person that he's interviewing. Again, they're doing it again. Everybody's doing the same thing. Shooting on the dark side, camera on the other side. This is the framework. Again, light to dark to dark to light to light to dark. Just break down your frames that way. Now, this is a behind the scenes scene. I think this might be the camera, but everything's not punch in. But again, they're making the entire background a vibe. They're just making it pink, purple, and a little dash of hot pink, just to create the elements for your eyes to be like, oh my God, this is very interesting. Again, where's the camera? On the darker side. Then just enough, and then you kind of see where his ear, right on the edge of his ear, is starting to lighten back up from the hair light. We're just doing the same thing over and over and over again.
What's good? I'm Nomad
Yeah,
today.
so this is our podcast that we're doing here. This is our talking head. But again, you see what I'm doing. I'm creating separation. I'm creating details within his face. As you travel the face, you see the gradient of light from light to dark. In the background, separation. There's a top light in front of him to separate him from the background. Great choice by me by choosing the background that we have words in black, and then in between the words, it's white. The green plants in the background also adds a different element, and he's sitting on a yellow chair. Create color, create contrast, create experiments, create experience, create exposure. Your eyes like to be entertained, my people. Use the power of the darkness. Use the power of the blackness. This sounds crazy, by the way. But, anyways, that was a simple breakdown on how podcasts look. All the shots that I show you were fantabulous, including this one that I'm currently at. But until next time, there will be a next time. So see you next time. Again, I'm doing this to help someone somewhere, somehow, to understand how to break down their shots, where to start from, what to look for. Even if you have one light, start on the shadow side. Try it on the light side. I do that sometimes. Sometimes I have no choice. Sometimes I have to use the sun 100%. Like just a abusement of sun. Sometimes I have no choice and I just have to put ND on my cameras. But again, if you know these concepts beforehand, then you can make an executive decision, a creative decision on how to move forward and grow your precision. Yeah. Subscribe. See you next time. Deuces.